Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is it's gonna be a sit-down video. We're gonna chat. Today we're gonna talk about my flight attendant journey, how I ended up being a flight attendant, and then afterwards I'm gonna talk about the hiring process, initial training, the benefits of working for an airline, just some advice for my future flight attendants. I never knew I was gonna go in to be a flight attendant, and thinking back now, I say this to everyone. I don't know how I really ended up here. Growing up, I'm a very shy, reserved person, and if you don't know me, I'm still very shy. It's up until we get to know each other, I kind of open myself up. I think that's the same for a lot of people. I didn't know I would even be fit for this kind of role. I wanted to become a writer or a teacher. I actually tried to pursue childhood education when I was fresh out of high school. The program I applied to right after high school, and then everything was going well up until I was put into placement. I was put in a childcare center for preschool, and I think I did 2 weeks there and I realized it's miserable and I don't see this for a long-term career, and I wasn't thriving and I didn't feel like I could be my best self. 18 years old. So being 18 years old, and I was already going through a really stressful time because I was still working for a very toxic workplace environment. So with that, and then going into school, placement, and still studying, it was a lot of stress. I don't know if I can say it was the stress that was leading up to my decision, but I just knew it wasn't for me. So I decided to drop out. I dropped out of the program. I did have to continue for a little bit just so I could get my electives done and transfer it to wherever I was gonna go next. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and from then I obviously kept working, but I had pressure from my mom to go study something. She wants me to study something, so I'm like, okay, so what can I study? There was a lot of like misconception about like post-secondary, how people associate the universities, like the higher level, and the college is like down here. I personally loved, well, I didn't really love school, but like college was always my calling. Hands-on, I like learning technical, practical stuff, life skills, rather than just sitting in a lecture hall for hours a day. So that's why I didn't go that route. Still remember when I was in high school, people were like, why are you going to college? And then here they are, some people who went to university, they're not really doing anything with a degree. And I came across this flight services program that Seneca College was offering, and if you're from the GTA, I don't know if this is still like a stigma, but Seneca College was like looked down on. I think I grew a lot there. I didn't make many friends, to be honest. I was a student that was just study and work. I didn't want to make friends. Not that I didn't want to make friends, but I just didn't have the time to make friends. I was all about the hustle. So unfortunately, I can't say I have any like college friends. I have people like acquaintances, people that I know, but I didn't really make good friends with people, which is something that I do regret. Like obviously being older now, and it's been like 5 years since I graduated, but that's like my only regret. This 2-year program, they still have the program, and they actually like revamped this program, and now it's like probably even better than what it was when I was in school. They have like specialized cabin trainers, and I think they moved the program to a different campus. But all in all, I think this program helped me a lot to gain my confidence, because I remember like mid-semester thinking to myself, oh, so after this, like I'm nearing close to graduating soon, I'm gonna have to start about thinking, what am I gonna do after school? Am I gonna actually go through with applying to be a flight attendant? Because this is what the whole program has prepared me for. It pushed me a lot, and it pushed me out of my comfort zone in like a good and uncomfortable way. and I ended up applying to, I think, Air Canada Rouge and also WestJet Encore, because those were the two airlines that were hiring. I've always felt very small for myself, so I never really considered that I would be fit to work for like a big international airline. I wanted to kind of start small and see how it would go, see if I actually do like it, because studying one thing and actually doing another thing every day is different. After graduation, 2 months later, I reached out by WestJet Encore, and then the hiring process was actually fairly quick compared to a lot of people. I still remember the interview. So my dad drove me to the airport and it was like a one-on-one interview, and I was super nervous. I've done many interviews before then because I started looking for jobs when I was 15. These interviews, and I think the program really prepared me well. I remember in one of our courses we made a little portfolio binder. I still have it. Okay, so I actually found it. And I have my resume. Oh my god, do resumes even look like this anymore? Clearly my resume is not updated, but got my resume and I have all my like little certificates. I have a lot. I'm actually really proud of these certificates because I did not like school growing up, and then suddenly the lights switched off and I started getting some awards, and I was like really proud of myself because I used to hate school and I was not good at really anything. Now we're talking about the hiring process. So I applied online on the website, and depending on what season you apply may determine when you'll hear back. Put in a pool of candidates for potentially 6 months. So I remember when I started, I think I was also put in a pool, but it didn't take me 6 months to hear back. It actually was quite fast. I applied in June, and then I got an initial training date in July, so I think I waited a month for that. But because if you apply like right now is like the busy season, I don't think they're gonna start training until January, to be honest, but I could be wrong. I know they have hired a few more classes. In the pool, you might be waiting for a while. I know friends that were flying Team Red, they were waiting on the pool for like over a year sometimes, and at that point I would just say keep your current job, keep doing what you're doing, and then see if an offer shows up, because you don't want to be wasting your time and waiting for an airline, and actively apply to other airlines because there's so many airlines to work for. They all have different benefits and stuff, which is the next thing I'm going to be talking about. Is the benefits for working for airlines are all different. Flight benefits, airlines give you flight benefits, you get, you know, your life health benefits, and the flexibility of a schedule. What I love about this job is that you can typically get a flexible schedule. You can work up to a maximum of 20 days, which is a lot. So you can have flexibility, you can play around with your schedule if you like to fly during the daytime, or you like to fly during the nighttime, if you like to do red eyes, if you want to be gone for a certain amount of days. A lot of airlines are seniority based, and therefore meaning you will get reserve. And reserve means you're going to be on call for a period of days. Depending on the airline, the hours you are blocked is different. At WestJet, it is currently 12. I was at Encore, I think I was blocked at 10. It sucks, but honestly, it's not too bad. There are some times like I'm just waiting at home, and other times I get called. So you never really know, but it's always a surprise. Another benefit is just working with different people. End up working with someone that you don't really get along with, chances are you're never probably gonna see them again because there's just so many of us. And if you do work with someone that you really like, chances are you'll probably never see them again. Sometimes like even each leg of the flight you'll work with something different, especially if you're flying as the floater FA. So that's the con, or maybe it's a pro if you don't like to stick with the same crew all the time. Another pro would be like layovers, pretty nice layovers, long layovers. I more to the international side, you can get like international layovers. Recently just moved over to the international side of WestJet mainline. I flew WestJet Encore for 4 years, and for those that don't know, WestJet Encore is a regional airline, so I mainly flew just within Canada into small cities like London, Ontario, Ottawa, Montreal. Starting at a smaller airline helped me build my confidence, and I don't regret it at all. I do miss it sometimes, like, not gonna lie, I love the Q400 because it's my first love. It's kind of dusty. Talking about my training experience, so we're gonna start with WestJet Encore. WestJet Encore initial training was 5 weeks long, and I am based in Toronto, so I didn't have to fly anywhere. There is a training center for the Toronto base, and I just had to drive there. But it was Monday to Friday, 7 or maybe it was 8 to 5 p.m. And I just remember it was challenging, but it wasn't difficult because me having going through the Seneca flight service program, I was well prepared. Like, I had my shouted commands, I'm used to it, I'm used to opening the doors, and just everything that we were learning in initial training, it helped me a lot and I was comfortable with it. I can't remember how many exams we had, but exams, you have to pass a certain percentage, I think it was 80 or 85, in order to keep going through the program. And if you failed it, you have a retake, but you have to get 100 on the retake in order to keep with the program. And obviously if you don't pass it, you'll be let go from the program. A few days that we flew out to Calgary, which is where WestJet is based out of, and we did our firefighting drills and our group line and off. Mainline, because I came from Encore, I actually went through the flow program, which is basically like an internal program that WestJet had, and it was supposed to be at 18 months, but because by the time I was at the 18th month mark, COVID hit, and obviously they stopped classes and stopped hiring, so I was stuck at Encore for another 2 years before I could flow. And I actually waited, I think, 6 months, so it started having an opportunity in January where they were flowing for different bases. So WestJet has 3 main bases. There's Toronto, Calgary, and Vancouver. I wasn't going to relocate, so I was waiting for Toronto, and finally it came to me an offer came in July for a training date of August. The flow program is different from if you were to apply online, let's say, like, with no experience. It's different because I think it's different because we have aviation experience. So the program, I mean, the training is shorter by a lot. The training was 11 days for me, and it was stressful because we're learning a totally new different aircraft. Now we're moving on to the Boeing, we're learning about the jets, and we actually get to like open doors and arm doors, and it was just a new experience and a little bit of a learning curve because the body mechanics were different, especially for the doors. I believe if you were just applying off the street, the initial training is 4 weeks. So 4 weeks, you're gonna fly out to Calgary because that's where the campus is. This is flight attendant advice for going through training. What I have for going through initial training is make sure that you sleep and you eat while studying. Do the 3 because training takes up the whole day, and then you only have, like, let's say like 4 hours to eat, shower, sleep, and then study, and then your exams the next day. It's super hard, and for me, I'm not the type of person that I study very weird, and we all have our different study methods. Some people like to study in groups, some people like to study alone. I like to study alone. I cannot study in groups. I just focus better when I'm alone. Find the best way for you to study. No one has the same best method. Just do what's good for you. I recommend, however, forming like a group where you can practice your drills at least a few times, because your drills will include another person and you have to kind of train yourself to have the muscle memory and the idea that when you're doing an evacuation, there's always going to be another flight attendant, so that you kind of get that experience. Really take notes, or I'll like highlight stuff, take notes, do whatever you need. If you need to use like your laptop to take notes, I actually do better when I'm writing notes down, so I write everything down, even if I'm just like copying stuff, because it just like makes me remember stuff better. I have for you advice is don't get into drama. You don't want to go through drama. I just would keep to yourself, don't overshare, and be friends, be friendly, but don't get involved in drama. In aviation, you probably have heard this before, even like if you went to Seneca. Early is on time is late, late is not acceptable. This phrase stuck with me for years now. Last training tip I have is read your fam. Your fam is the key to everything. Your fam has everything you need to know. Even time to time, I always constantly refer to it because I don't have it memorized. If you have it memorized, that's great. But I like to go read through it like during my pairing, before my pairing, after my pairing. I know a lot of people will say, oh, I don't want to bring work with me, I'm not getting paid right now. Well, I don't care. It's a lifestyle. I don't clock in, clock out of work. It's a lifestyle to me. Tips, advice when you're on the line. My number one is always be prepared. Always try to arrive early. If you're late for something, it's not great. It's not good. Is don't fly sick. Don't fly sick. It is painful. I've tried to do it once and my ears weren't happy with me. So don't do that. You don't want to burst the eardrum. 3 is meal prep. I rely on meal prep. I meal prep since day one. I was never the one that like brought an empty lunch bag or just went out to eat, because eating out eats up your wallet. And those per diems, though it was nice to get it, a lot of times flight attendants will just save the per diems, because money is hard earned in this industry. If you know, we don't get paid for a lot of things. So if you can save the coin, then save the coin. Fourth tip that I have is take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health, because these two things are gonna be very hard for you if you don't take care of them. And right now, busy season's coming up and just got my schedule. It is hectic, it is packed, but I am trying to see the positive of it. And what is helping me is making sure that I, move my body, make sure I go for my workout classes when I can. I really love yoga. I feel like it really helps de-stress and helps me just feel like I'm healthy. Eating your meals, eating your food, doing what makes your mental health great, whether it's like, watching your guilty pleasure movie or going out for a walk, going a little bit of shopping, like anything that will keep you sane. Career is a whole lifestyle change and you're gonna experience so many things. The fifth tip, I think, but it's gonna be the last one, is definitely pack for the unexpected and also prepare for the unexpected, obviously. But let's say if you're doing a one day, a little bit of extra clothes in your toiletries, because you never know if you're gonna get stuck somewhere. Is all I have today. If you watched this entire video, thank you so much. And if you want more videos like these, let me know down below. But I hope this video is helpful for either a future flight attendant or someone who is thinking about going into the flight attendant role. I wish you the best of luck and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you guys later.